May your heart be your guiding key.
Hello everyone, I'm Vivi and welcome to some Rift Apart. Alright, at the start of October, our good old friends over at Ratchet Galaxy, a fan-made website, made a very cool discovery. PlayStation put up the official page for Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and on this official page, there's some interesting tidbits of information I would really love to go over. Firstly, no, there's still no official confirmed release date, as stated on the page. It's yet to be confirmed. All we know, it's planned to release within the launch window of the PlayStation 5. Whether or not that means November, December, January, we really don't know. Now, taking a look at this page, one thing stands out. One question we've been asking ourselves for a very long time, basically ever since the game got revealed. Let me read the following paragraph, the first one at top. Go dimension hopping with Ratchet & Clank as they take on an evil emperor from another reality. Jump between action-packed worlds and beyond at mind-blowing speeds, complete with dazzling visuals and an insane arsenal, as the intergalactic adventurers blast onto the PlayStation 5 console. Wait, does this mean that the Nefarious we have in this extended demo is an alternate version? That's the question we've had in our minds for a very long time now. Well, Vivi, is Nefarious really an emperor to begin with? Or is this referring to another villain? The only emperor we're aware of from the series, considering the fact that this is a continuation of Into the Nexus, while we have Percival Tachyon, who was part of the original timeline, or in other words, the future saga, Tools of Destruction. Looking at his story, what happened? Well, basically Ratchet & Clank dealt with him, and he wound up in Dimension A266. Wait, Emperor? Drophids were spotted, right? In this extended demo? Right, you are correct. So does this confirm Tachyon because he's an Emperor and we have Drophids? The army he built in Tools of Destruction? Nah. Let's not think about Tachyon being confirmed, for the time being, of course. For now, I believe this new alternate Nefarious does in fact go with that title. Wait a minute. Are you saying that this is alternate Nefarious? Basically, yeah. You're not convinced? Okay, let's continue. Under outrageous weaponry, it reads the following. An evil robotic emperor is working overtime to wipe out organic life, with Ratchet & Clank's own dimension next in his sights. You'll need to dust off the Dynamics pair outrageous weaponry and stop a dimensional collapse in its tracks. Well, there you go. More emphasis on robot. So yeah, this Nefarious not only is an emperor, but the key phrase in this paragraph, Ratchet & Clank's own dimension, is next. Own dimension. Really seems to pinpoint at another Nefarious. If so, then it makes sense because 1. The cracked dome on his head is no more. Remember, in A Crack in Time, Ratchet went back in time, caused a butterfly effect, which in result caused a crack to appear on the dome of Nefarious. So if we compare the two, no crack can mean that this is another Nefarious. 2. The character arc, the Nefarious we know, the story he's gone through in All for One, I mean, think whatever about this game, okay? But it is considered a sequel to A Crack in Time after all. At first glance, I was confused and wondered, would the Nefarious we know now do this again? Now, from a lore perspective, according to the demo, Ratchet & Clank think this is the Nefarious they know, the Nefarious they dealt with for years, but they're still unaware that this is another Nefarious, and how can we be sure of that? Well, what our duo think to themselves at this point in the trailer? The dialogues on screen. Did Dr. Nefarious really resurface after all these years, just to try and take over the universe again? That clearly implies they think they're dealing with a Nefarious they know. So already, the chances of the Nefarious we know and this new alternate Nefarious fighting is much higher. I mean, think about it. Just think of a scene where these two are fighting and shouting Lawrence. Who's gonna shout Lawrence the loudest, for example? And if you think about it, why is this Nefarious solo? Where's Lawrence? Where is his Lawrence, to be more precise, if he does exist? Also, this Nefarious somehow knew our Ratchet & Clank for some time after he said, "Finally, I can be rid of you." Keyword, finally. It makes it feel like he's tired of them, right? If this is an alternate dimension wherein, Megalopolis, well, Ratchet and Clank doubles, maybe, just maybe do exist because of two things. There's concept art lying around in Megalopolis, adventures from All for One especially. This one in particular, comparing the official artwork to the one in the game, Nefarious and Quark are absent. We only notice Ratchet and Clank. It's like saying this alternate Ratchet and Clank, if they do exist, wherever they are, they never teamed up with Nefarious and Quark. It's like a cool little theory, right? And there are some Ratchet and Clank parade balloons. Same goes for Quark if we go back to the early version of the demo, the one from June. After all, there was a parade confirmed by a citizen. Another very important thing, which a lot of you brought up in the comments section when I published my 1 hour long analysis, there is a dialogue which you can easily miss with the blink of an eye. It explains why I missed out on that dialogue. This mysterious city, which perhaps could be Metropolis going off concepts of Tools of Destruction, which, by the way, fun fact, the 15th anniversary art book, there's a part which mentions that concepts which weren't used before, they could be recycled and used for, let's say, another game. Alright, as for the dialogue I was referring to, Nefarious Citizen, his greatness is breaking into the other dimension. He did it. Aha, okay. That's a key point factor right there. Another telltale sign that this is alternate Nefarious we're dealing with. The way it's worded, the Citizen's dialogue, it seems like our duo went back in time, right? Exactly when Nefarious broke through the dimensions. Or it could just be the Citizen's method of speech, really, like, oh, he's breaking into the dimensions. Not now, but he's, already doing it, and we found him in Megalopolis. And that could also explain why the Dimensionator looks so different, if this is alternate Nefarious, which the game now seems to imply. Unless, of course, he stole ours and modified it when he, entered our dimension. Our duo insinuates that their Dimensionator got stolen. The Sereenox shard alone, it's a pretty rare shard from a comet. It's not so rare if it's not discovered in another dimension yet, right? So that could be the case with this alternate Nefarious. Next thing I want to point out. There's one worry about this game, reading your comments. The thought of no longer using our ship to travel, the traditional travel with the ship, Ratchet and Clank. The following paragraph might worsen that worry. Blast your way home with an arsenal of explosive new weapons, including the burst pistol, topiary sprinkler, and the shatter bomb. Zip above cityscapes, boost into combat, and slip through dimensions with physics-defying new gadgets. This somehow implies that we'll only travel to dimensions this way. Let me try and put your worry at bay, okay? Don't forget, there's crates lying around. And notice the hook shot. So that seems to hint at, travel on foot. So it's very likely that our ship will still be included. After all, in the reveal trailer, Ratchet does wonder about their ship. There's that too, we can't forget. Let's not be hasty. The ship travel can still play a role in this game, okay? Next topic. Lombax Girl. The article reassures that the Lombax Girl is playable, but what's new I'd say is the group she belongs to. Unite the Double Team Supreme with a cast of familiar allies and new faces, including an all-new Lombax Resistance fighter, who is just as determined to take out the robotic scourge. We know she's a Lombax, but what caught my interest personally is the word resistance. Like she's part of an army force of Lombaxes. And you can't help but think, if the other Ratchet and Clank, if they do exist, they're doubles, if they're part of the resistance or not. I assume they're still alive, if they're real. Because Nefarious wants to, of course, finally be rid of them. Basically, this alternate Nefarious is confusing the Ratchet and Clank he knows with our Ratchet and Clank. Now, the word resistance reminds me of a cut concept for Into the Nexus. The Lombax Society. If this is the new version of the Lombax Society, let's call it the Lombax Resistance, it's likely a lot of them got perished because, after all, Nefarious is trying to get rid of organic life forms. And this Lombax Girl is part of the few who I believe survived, and is also trying to stop Nefarious. Notice all those wanted posters she's probably one of the few that remain. After all, Insomniac Games did say this after they were interviewed by Games Radar. And with Rift Apart, we're trying to tell a story that involved seeing another version of these characters, who have never really become the heroes that they could be. Wait, if this statement hints at Lombax Girl being an alternate Ratchet, you know, the Ratchetverse, then the doubles of Ratchet and Clank, that theory, falls flat. Therefore, Megalopolis is perhaps part of our dimension. The citizens freaking out over Ratchet and Clank being present, well, it's the citizens from our dimension, we can say. As for the concepts on the walls, really it could mean nothing. And by finally going back to Nefarious, simply Nefarious found out about us through the citizens in our dimension. Nothing's been confirmed regarding the Ratchetverse, by the way, it's all speculation, but Insomniac Games could be hinting at it. Next, discover Clank's all-new interdimensional mechanics. Ooh. Hey, am I wrong to say this confirms Clank Playable? I guess we're not surprised since Playable Clank has been a staple of the franchise. If Clank can enter the Netherverse, what happened into the Nexus, I mean, he was upgraded with an interdimensional software upgrade. The game can easily allow Clank to go through some interdimensional puzzles, let's say. Puzzles, Vivi? Well, maybe. But let me bring up another paragraph. Experience the intergalactic shuffle of dimensional rifts as they combine new worlds and gameplay. Warp across battlefields to rapidly gain your combat advantage and repair planetary rifts with dimension-spanning puzzles. Repair planetary rifts? I mean, someone's gotta fix these rifts, am I right? Some of these could turn into fun puzzles, let's say, by either utilizing our duo or Clank, more specifically. I'm super glad that restoring rifts will be tied to gameplay. We don't know to what extent, but I'd guess a good chunk. I mean, they could have decided to tie, you know, fixing the rifts to just the story and cutscenes only, but it seems to be tied to gameplay, which is awesome. When thinking about A Crack in Time, we had Clank sections without Ratchet for a good chunk of the game. Clank had parts where he'd fix temporal anomalies on planets using the Chronoscepter. With now Ratchet and Clank together, fixing rifts, at least I feel like it's gonna be much more fun and immersive. And finally, the website reassures that we'll visit never-before-seen planets and alternate old favorites. So with that being said, folks, I'm always gonna try my best to keep you guys updated with Rift Apart, alright? So hopefully you enjoyed this video. And yeah, please feel free to leave your own theories, questions, or anything of such sort in the comment section below. And as always, I've been Vivi, and thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.